Today, that giant windshield in the front of our RV is going to be replaced. It is cracked. It is a traveling crack, and there's another crack that could spread. So it's got to be replaced, and that makes me just a little bit nervous, but hey, I know all is well. What can go right? Windshield gets replaced, no problem, easy breezy. The worst thing is I have to pack up the front, which is kind of like my office area. So I'm cleaning it right now and vacuuming it and doing all the things so that if they need to get in here to do what they need to do, they can.
Let's pull this side.
We went through our insurance company and they connected us with Windshields Direct. Will come to you, and they're highly rated here. It's Windshields Direct LLC, and they arrived in 3 trucks, a team of 4, ready to tackle the job. And you may not know this, but if you in the state of Florida, if you have Florida insurance, comprehensive insurance, and I think or some other additional coverage, in our case it was comprehensive insurance, the insurance company cannot charge a deductible, and the windshield replacement is free. So that's in Florida. I don't know if any other states are like that, but we have Florida insurance. So this one was covered by Florida. We'd already had one repair done to this windshield. It was a small crack down in the bottom left-hand corner, and it was filled in. This crack, when we did submit the claim, just because it was a traveling crack, it was already starting to spider out, and we also had another one right in the middle. I suspect they happened at the same time, just from road debris, from a rock. It can happen anywhere. Even if you're careful, and I'll give some tips on how to be careful of that road debris actually put 3 chips in our windshield, and out of those 3 chips, one of them started spreading really bad. The other one had just a little spread, and one, you couldn't even see it unless you were looking for it. So it was very small. So inspect your windshield is what I'm saying, because even though we knew it was there, it was hard to see and it was hard to notice. So they do kind of camouflage themselves, just the nature of a Class A motorhome windshield is so huge. So the first step that these guys had to do here is get this windshield out. And it's stuck in with a very strong adhesive, and you know, it took quite a bit of, they had a device where they could actually dig it in and then pull with another lever. And they'd actually done another RV that morning, so we were their second RV of the day. Now you might be wondering, well, I don't live in Florida, and my state doesn't cover windshields. This is going to cost me. And just for your reference, I couldn't find an exact number, but a Class A motorhome windshield replacement costs anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. So it is not a cheap operation. And of course it's going to be less if you have the 2 different window panes. You know, some you see are separated by a seam in the middle. Ours is just one big large piece of glass. So it's important because that crack can weaken the structure of your motorhome that's protecting you while you're going down the road. So you don't want to let that go. Also, and this might vary from state to state, but I know in the state of Florida, if that crack obstructs the vision of the driver, then you cannot drive with that crack. So we didn't have that problem going on, but it was a traveling crack. And every now and then it would just crack a little bit more. It was very scary. Probably the longest part of the whole process was getting the windshield out. That's where the team of 4 came in handy, because everyone seemed to have a job to do, and They had to remove the windshield wipers. I probably didn't need to clean the front like I did, but definitely the dash area, it was helpful to have that cleared off, I think. But they never had to go inside the motorhome. So after loosening up the adhesive and taking the trim off and all of that, the windshield was removed. And that is more than a one-person job. Still attached.
All right, have a nice day.
Good one.
We did the hard part. That's it.
So it's a little bit unsettling to see your entire home opened up with no windshield, with that great big gaping hole. There goes the donkey. So out with the old, and next is the new. And so they have to clean that up, get all the residue off, the adhesive residue, and prep it for the new windshield. Now, a word about those of you who have a residential fridge. We're told that if we ever have to replace a refrigerator, it will need to come out through that opening you see there. And most likely, when your windshield is removed, it will crack. So when and if that happens, you may also be buying another windshield.
Put one in the wrong car before, but...
So they got it cleaned up, filed down, all the old residue off, and they apply the adhesive to hold the window in. You might be wondering, as I was, how to avoid a cracked windshield, which is always a little scary if you're in places where there's hail pinging down on your roof. But when you're on the highway, one thing to do is just keep a good distance behind any larger vehicles that could kick up rock. Sometimes that's easier said than done. So they have to clean the glass really well to get these suction cup glass windshield holders attached. And I read that from a couple of sources that the weight of this windshield can be 250 pounds or more for a motorhome, for a Class A motorhome that has one sheet of glass in the front. I also learned that this glass is a little thicker than the automobile glass, which I guess is good since it's so big. you got to be really strong to step up and carry. This is where the team of 4 came in handy, and I was impressed that they all did that stair step onto that step holding that heavy windshield. So now all they need to do is line it up, seal it in, and apply the trim. And we'll be done. So another thing that you can do to avoid cracks in your windshield is to be aware of pressure washing too close to the windshield, like especially if there's a crack, it could cause that crack to spread. I also read to avoid ammonia-based cleaners and cold water, that warm water and vinegar is the best thing to clean your windshield with. Another thing is inspect your windshield, because these cracks were nearly impossible to see because the windshield's so large. One of them that we had before was way down in a corner where we couldn't see it. One of these chips was just barely noticeable right at the windshield wiper line. So you won't always see these when they happen. So inspect your windshield now and then. So there you go. All patched up. Now we have not test driven this or tried our windshield wipers, but I'm pretty confident that everything is going to work okay. And Rob, the owner, super helpful, and let us know if we have any problems. Let him know. So the company that we did use is Windshields Direct, LLC, and they are here in the Central Florida area. So if you do have a claim and you have Florida insurance, or even if you don't, I'm sure they will work with whatever insurance. But just keep in mind that it's Florida insurance that is no deductible and that is free. But you can contact them and they will even get your insurance company on another line, so they'll have a 3-way call to get your claim rolling. So there you go, another RV to do crossed off our list. So we fixed the water pump, and you can check that video out here. We had that taken care of, and a check valve where our water hose connects to our RV. So we've changed the oil and got that done, and we also had our leak fixed, and now our windshield has been replaced. So the only thing hanging over our head right now is this generator issue, and we can't get into a place to get that repaired. So we're going to have to back burner the generator fix until we can get to a place where we can get it fixed. We've tried everything that we know possibly we can DIY, and we're stuck. But Windshields in, good friendly folks there at Windshields Direct, LLC. Rob, the owner, awesome guy, great team of guys. And so I hope you never have to have your windshield replaced. But if you do, check the laws in your state, see what you can do. But just know that if you have to pay for it out of pocket, it's in a motorhome, it's going to cost $1,000 to $5,000 depending on where you are and the size of your windshield. So good luck. Allow space between you and those bigger rigs, whatever they may be. Dump trucks, semis, RVs, to avoid a rock kicking up. Hailstorm, not a lot you can do. So have you ever had to have your windshield replaced? Have you had a crack that you've had to deal with, or maybe even a broken windshield? And then the question on our mind is, do you have a residential refrigerator inside your motorhome? And have you ever had to have it replaced? And how did you do it? So until next time, this is Sharon, Rough Road RV Life. We like looking at freedom. Hope to see you on the road sometime. Safe travels, everyone. Bye-bye.